In today's video, I'm going to be discussing adult checks for the low income in 2024, and yes, this may include Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, spousal, SSI, and VA benefits. I have all the details for you right here in the video. Let's get into it and discuss what's going on. First off, thank you so much for liking and sharing this video with your friends, family, social media with those buttons right down below. I really do appreciate it. Also, if you haven't done so yet, or if you happen to be new here, welcome and thank you so much for watching. Will you please make sure to subscribe to the channel as well with the big subscribe button right down below. Again, thank you so much. Really appreciate your support. Let's get into it and talk about this, as this is a question that I do get down below in the comment section on a fairly regular basis, and I want to come back here and share with you the details of where we currently stand on adult checks for the low income this year, 2024, as we rapidly approach 2025, and it's all going to be very busy between now and then, and obviously 2025, very busy and beyond as well. All right, so let me give you a quick little kind of history slash let's back up here for just a second here and talk about where this even came from in the first place. So it actually all started way back in January of this year, 2024. So a long time ago, January of this year. At that time, we came together and lawmakers, believe it or not, had a bipartisan piece of legislation. In other words, they all agreed. If they all agreed, then why didn't they do it? That's a really good question, okay? That's the big mystery that we're all wondering right now, okay? It's not very often the lawmakers actually agree on something, but when they do and they don't pass it, it's always like, I'm totally confused now, okay? You guys never work together, but when you do work together, you can't even get together to pass it? I'm confused, right? So yeah, I think a lot of us are in the same position. But anyway, back in January of this year, they came together on basically an $80 billion package, okay? Remember this? I talked about it at the time. But they basically came together on an $80 billion package. Republicans wanted to reinstate some of the tax credits that have basically expired. Let's just say that much, okay? There were some different tax advantages that expired over the last couple of years, and they wanted to reinstate those, basically retroactive to last year, 2023, and then obviously going forward, right? So that's what Republicans wanted. Now, Democrats said, sure, we can do that, no problem at all, we can agree to that, and they did. And then they said, we want to reinstate the child tax credit payments. Republicans said, sure, we can do that, no problem whatsoever. So they agreed. Obviously, I don't think the exchange was as friendly as what I just made it out to sound like, but you get my point, right? So they actually agreed on something. They both came to the table, they negotiated, and they said, we want this, we want that, and we all agree. Sure, you can have this for that, and they both agreed on both sides. They came together, and the package was about $80 billion, give or take. It was actually a little bit less than that, but we're just going to say $80 billion for easy rounding purposes here, okay? So $80 billion is what they said. However, then it came down to the time where, hey, let's bring this thing for a vote, right? In fact, it passed in the House of Representatives. It passed massively, okay? The votes came in 357 in favor of this piece of legislation. That's a lot. There were only like 70-some people that voted against it. I think it was like 79 or 77 or something like that that voted against it. In other words, it passed very well in the House of Representatives. Not bad. At the time, I was saying, hey, look at it. Here we go. We're going to pass this sucker. This is going to be really good for a lot of people, right? And then we fast forward and the Senate never voted. What? Really? Yeah, that's exactly what happened, okay? So the Senate never voted on it, okay? But you heard me say now, okay, I said the child tax credit payments reinstated, and then also the tax credits and, you know, the extra money from tax reductions as well in this legislation. But wait, I didn't say anything about adult checks. You're right. But again, that's what I want to focus on, okay? So I do get this question every so often. So comes in to be this much, okay? This happened a couple years ago. Remember back in the second half of 2021, in fact, they passed the legislation in March of 2021, which also included the $1,400 stimulus checks. They had the advanced child tax credit payments that were going to be going out the second half of 2021. July through December, they were sending on average 38 million households, $422 on average per month for the child tax credit payments, right? Remember those? I talked about those at the time. However, from the time that was passed, and basically through the entire time that those checks were going out, we saw all the time a bunch of people coming out saying, okay, you've approved these, advanced checks for, households with minor kids, but What about adults? What about seniors? What about fixed income beneficiary? What about some kind of low income adult advanced payment as well, right? Remember this? I talked about it at the time again. So this is a very interesting concept. Now, back in January of this year, I kept saying, get ready, get ready. As soon as this thing passes, we're going to start seeing people coming out suggesting that, hey, we need to do something for low income, fixed income adults as well, advanced adult payments, because same thing, right? Is it just me, or is it only households that have minor kids that are struggling right now financially? I don't think so. I mean, if anybody wants to argue that, feel free to read through the comment section on any of my videos here on the channel. It doesn't really matter. You'll see the struggle from seniors. You'll see the struggle from fixed income. You'll see the struggle from people with disabilities. You'll see the struggle from low-income adults who maybe have kids, but they're like, 30, 35, 40, right? Those are not kids anymore, right? Those are like grown people. My point is, the same kind of situation comes in, and this is the exact situation and the argument and the rebuttal that was being said a few years ago as well, saying, what about low-income adults who also need some financial assistance right now? Why can't we, come together on some type of adult advanced payment, just like we're doing for the child tax credit payment? Same situation, right? So that's exactly where this comes from. So as of right now, no, there is not a child tax credit payment in the advanced form. Now, obviously, when somebody files their taxes at the, in the beginning of the year for the previous year, yes, there's a child tax credit payment there, or child tax credit, I should say, that is available on the tax return. But no, it is not being distributed as a advance payment like it was in 2021, right? That's as of right now. However, there's also at the same time, there's no advanced payment on an adult tax credit either as of right now, just like the child tax credit. But when you go to file a tax return, again, this is not for everybody. And by the way, full disclaimer, no, this is not tax advice. This is not accounting advice. This is not financial advice. This is not advice in any way, shape, or form. I just want to throw the disclaimer out there really quickly. But some people, when they go to file their tax returns as well, they can claim something which is called the EITC, which is the Earned Income Tax Credit, and that is for those adults who are also low income, and there's a lot more money available if, again, they also have minor kids. But my point is, that is also something that's available, but there have been people that have come out and suggested, why wouldn't we just make this an advanceable type of payment? Anybody that's eligible for it, why don't we just advance this to them and or offer it on a monthly, basically monthly stipend, a monthly check amount that would go out as well, okay? My point is, as of right now, as we currently sit right now, lawmakers, with that legislation that came in back in January of this year, they've done nothing with it. It passed through the House, went to the Senate, and the Senate has just been sitting on it. That's it, okay? So that's where we're at as of right now. But, okay, here's one thing that they did indicate back, months and months and months ago, back in early of 2024. So earlier this year, here's what they did indicate. Let's wait until after the election to possibly revisit this, or possibly early 2025. So again, I'm not giving up on this yet. The reason being is they've indicated they're going to revisit this a little bit later this year, okay? Again, another waiting game. Great, thanks guys, yeah. Another wait, thank you. We love waiting all the time for indecision. Love it, right? Obviously I'm being sarcastic. So my point is, let's just wait on this. We're not giving up on it yet. As of right now, no, there's no child tax credit payment that's advanced. There's no adult checks that are advanced. They can only be claimed on tax returns. Again, if you'd be eligible for the child tax credit payment or the EITC, the Earned Income Tax Credit, there are some different options that are available. But again, not tax advice, not accounting advice, not advice in any way, shape, or form. I'm just simply saying, these are the ones that are out there. We'll have to continue watching this. But as soon as they pass this, if they pass it, again, sometime between now and the end of the year, or possibly in early 2025, if they were to do that, then let's just continue to watch, because I would be willing to bet that the calls for adult payments would also be coming out as well at that time, and we'll have to see what happens. Does that kind of answer your question? For those of you that have been asking in the comment section about adult checks, I hope that answers it a little bit for you. Either way, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. Leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. Again, like the video down below as well. Share the video with your friends on your social media. Subscribe to the channel down below. Check out the other videos here on the channel, the thousands of video library. The ones I've hand selected for you down below in the description or the top of the comment section. And right now, popping up your screen as well. You'll see some videos there. Otherwise, enjoy. I hope that helps. And I'll catch you again later in the next video.